Okay, this is literally like another video in regards to, I've just made a video in terms of staying focused whilst I'm studying, but this video is basically on how to actually stay focused in class. So I remember when I was actually doing like my undergrad and postgrad. When I say postgrad, I mean masters. I always find it a bit difficult to like stay focused. After a period of time, I start getting distracted, I start getting tired, and I believe that works for a lot of students as well. We just get tired at some point, but obviously I want to understand what the lecturer is saying, but it's just me, like I'm just feel like, okay, you know what, at this point this lecture is getting too long and I just want to leave. These are the things I would suggest. These are the things I've done, some of these things, and I've also added some of the things that would help you stay focused in class. The first thing I actually recommend is to sit in front. Don't come for me. I know sitting in front for a lot of people is like you trying to form some form of like efficiency, but I'm telling you today, it's not only the efficient students that sit in front. Depends on your priority, depends on your target, depends on how you feel, depends on how much you want to engage. Sitting in front, the only reason why I'm mentioning sitting in front, let me explain the reason to you, is because when you sit in front, you sort of like have to behave. If you sit at the back, there are chances of you like, you can throw papers, you can throw tantrums. Like when you sit in front, it's easier for you to just, be well behaved because you're facing the lecturer, you're having a direct conversation with the lecturer, you're hearing the lecturer just right in front of you. So it's pretty much kind of like psychologically wrong for you to just like misbehave, for you to use your phone, because the lecturer can easily see you in front and easily walk you out of the class. As compared to if you're sitting at the back, you can always use your phone to chat and stuff. So when you sit in front, it has some form of it gives you some form of like discipline as opposed to when you sit at the back. It helps you concentrate. Trust me, try it. Right, what I usually do as well, I usually try to prepare ahead of the class. So because obviously there's some topics that, I'm not conversant with, I do not like the topic, I probably don't understand it. But if you have like, let's say you go online, things are pretty much easy now. You can always like, check online, check for tips and all that. And I tend to like read about the work before I go into class the next day, because that way it helps me, it gives me that form of understanding. So whilst the lecturer is talking to me or teaching about that topic, it's just not very it's not different to my hearing. Like I could flow with it, I could understand what the lecturer is actually saying, as opposed to when I've got like zero knowledge about it and I'm kind of like not interested because I'm not assimilating as fast as I want to assimilate. However, if I would actually like done a study on it prior to that class, it's way better. So if you actually just study before class, it really helps. You don't have to go in depth, but just like surface level, understand what that topic is all about and what it's trying to say. It definitely does help and work, trust me. This one might actually sound like you're trying to be all over the place in class, but it helps you remember things in class, and this is it. Actively participating in class. There are some times that you have like a group work, you have a task to do. Some people in the group might feel very reluctant and they don't want to engage. It's fine if you don't want to engage, that's absolutely fine. But in most cases, check those people. I'm not coming for anybody, but in most cases, check those people. They probably forget what is being taught in the class at that time. But when you're engaging in class, you remember what you've said, you remember what your contribution was, you remember the questions you've asked and also the answers you got back from the lecturer or from your colleagues. So whilst you're participating, it puts you in that position where your brain is like functioning well and you can assimilate things more effectively and you can remember them whilst you're doing your revision as well, because you remember what has happened that day. If you go to the market, for example, you remember, the dialogue you've had with that person. You remember you bought, let's say, a bag for £20 and you got back, £2 change or something. You remember that conversation. You remember that process. The same thing goes when you're in the classroom. You remember that dialogue. You remember, what has happened there. And then it kind of helps you to remember certain things whilst you're doing your revision. Okay, another one I'm going to say to you. So if you're not like more of a talking person and everything, please take notes in class. Make notes. I understand like we're in like a digital world and everything, but trust me, I still love my pen and paper. It does help, it works. But sometimes I use my iPad as well and I just write on my iPad. That's also fine. Do you get what I mean? Just depends on which one works for you. But the point is, make notes, because these notes are actually the things you read later on. So sometimes like when I'm having like my exams, for example, I literally just, once I'm reading my notes, like the extra notes I make, it gives me like a very comprehensive understanding of what I have read before or what I've been taught, as opposed to me having to like read the old book or the old handout. It's completely different. Your notes are like, they're very easy for you to like navigate through because you took them yourself, you wrote them yourself. So you understand how to write them, you understand what, when this was said, you understand the points that was, that was made, and try to link it. So anyways, I'm gonna make a video in regards to note taking and how to take notes effectively. The final one I'll say is, come on, if you're already down, if you're morally down, if you just can't be asked, if you're just like that, if you're so down, like it kind of wouldn't help you. So it's best to stay hydrated and well rested. So if you've got a lesson for 8 o'clock in the morning the next day, it's obviously best for you to get enough rest like a day before. Like you don't want to like wake up that morning, you don't want to wake up, you don't want to go to bed, sorry, let's say at 2 a.m. and you need to get up at 6. Obviously you're not well rested, so you need to get enough rest so you can actually come into class very much energetic, happy, willing to learn, that energetic spirit, as opposed to just like, oh my god, I just want to sleep. Like, come on. If you can't, that sometimes obviously I probably had no choice and I had to sleep late, but if you can avoid sleeping late and getting enough rest ahead of your lesson, that would be best. Anyways guys, I hope this video was actually very helpful. If it was helpful for you, please give this video a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and check out my other videos. Thank you, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye, have a nice day.